Actually, you're going away to the USA.
Yeah.
Do you have what you're going to watch mapped out? Because you get
No, as part of today's
a great time.
Oh well, I've not checked like the in-flight entertainment for the BA stuff, but like also I have my iPad and I will download stuff to that.
iPad kid.
Yeah. Truly, I mean, not truly, but sort of like teenage kid with iPad.
But there's nothing that you're like, oh, I've been really wanting to catch up on that. I'll just use this time to.
Honestly, I'm kind of like, well, I could fill it with just. It's already lost time being on a flight, so like I could fill it with shit. So like I could watch Echo.
Oh.
And then start Daredevil.
Yeah, fair.
And just kind of catch up with the MCU. So it's a possibility.
That's also like, put on Echo, oh, I'm really tired. Let me doze off for 2 hours, then come back to it. Like, you're not locked in. It's a good idea.
Yeah, but then if I'm asleep for 2 hours, I'm still missing, even if it is garbage, I'm still missing the show. I may as well just not watch the show.
No. Like, pause the show.
Oh, right.
Like, the show's like a nice, like, relaxer. Put
You don't have to be paying it. Yeah, I did that with last time I went to America. I watched like the Fast and Furious films.
Oh, great.
They had like 2 of them on the flight, and I was like, I've not seen either of these 2 because for some reason I've seen most of them. And I think I made it through 1.5. I couldn't even make it through.
That's
10, I think it was. They're all merged in my head. Like, see, I couldn't go back now and figure out which one it was to go back and finish it. Like, I have no fucking idea.
That's just, it all blends together.
Yeah,
every single one.
It's all just. I mean, some of them are like stand out. Like 7 was like Paul Walker's last one, and like Tokyo Drift is like pretty good. And you've got like the original, which is like Grounded. 5, I think, is the one that's hilarious because they're driving after a plane on a runway for like 40 minutes, which means that the runway is
oh my god,
infinitely long. And I think 9 is in Scotland and space.
Lovely.
So, you know.
Oh yeah, because I saw Vin Diesel.
Did you see Vin Diesel?
Yeah, when what it would have been my first year at uni. Me and Cameron, shout out, were walking, and like this blacked out car passes us with this bald headed guy like leaning out of it.
You're in Fast and Furious.
I'm in Fast and Furious. And with that, welcome to episode number 16. Yeah, I got really scared again.
Yeah.
Of Plot to Go. I'm Jack.
I'm Owen.
And this week, we're talking about... it's a slow week in the cinema. Shut
Yeah,
up.
not for TV. We've got a lot of rambling to do.
Oh, yay. This week, Drop, the new thriller starring Megan Fahey came out, and The Amateur, a spy thriller, I guess you could call it, with Rami Malek as well. I saw both of them. Owen got to miss out, luckily, on these.
Yeah, I'm not too mad about not having seen any of these. Yeah.
Sad day when it's a beautiful day outside and you're dragging your ass to go see stuff that's not good. Or not even not good. I'll get to both those movies, but...
I thought you were going to reference Right Now for some reason.
What do you mean?
You'd be like, sad day when it's beautiful outside and
you're
have
recording
to record a podcast.
No, this is like fine. This, like, yesterday was middle of the day. Scotland doesn't get much good weather, but we've had like great weather this week. And I looked at my phone, it's like 18 degrees Celsius.
It's really hot.
And you're like, okay, I'm going into a dark room with like nobody else to watch. Movies I don't particularly want to watch. Anything for the podcast, though, am I right?
Yeah.
And then we're also going to talk about Doctor Who, which had its premiere this morning. We just finished watching it.
Yeah, right now is 11 and that show went up at 8 a.m.
Yeah.
So weird.
It's... What did I... No, because I was too busy doing stuff. The release schedule for that show doesn't make sense. Because last year it released at midnight on Saturday. Mm-hmm. So Friday into Saturday.
Yeah.
Which makes some sort of sense because if it's midnight here, the east coast of America is 5 hours behind us. So it would be 7. Uh-huh. And then the west coast is 8 hours behind us. So it'd be 4. So whatever. They're just like more likely times for people to watch stuff. Now it's 8 a.m. here. Mm. Which, I don't know, unless you're a fan of the show or you're like waking up to watch it. Like there's been no reason to watch TV at 8 o'clock in the morning.
I think the same argument can be made for midnight.
I just think there's, yeah, okay, fair. But then the American times, because they're wanting to appease like a more American audience, the American times end up being 3 o'clock in the morning and midnight.
And boy, am I happy about it. Fuck the Americans.
We love our American audience. Thank you for listening.
It's a British show. I hated that we were prioritising them last year.
I completely agree. It should be premiering at like prime time or slightly earlier because it's more like a kids show. 6-7 o'clock Saturday night. Why is it premiering in the morning?
I don't know.
It's dumb. Did feel like watching like Scooby-Doo or something this morning.
What, because we got up for our morning cartoons?
Yeah.
Nice.
Wish it was the same quality as Scooby-Doo, but we'll get into that. Should I just dive into the films then, I guess?
Yeah, let's get them out of the way. Oh, I have had it made clear to me that we aren't always the most clear with whether we're just going to talk about spoilers and things.
Oh, sure.
Shows and films, so we should probably just like...
Most of our reviews will be non-spoiler.
Yeah, but...
Unless there's a reason to spoil it.
I think there's been some cases where we've gone like, I don't want to spoil this, and then like 2 minutes later we're just like, so this thing happens.
Okay, we'll put spoiler warnings.
Be much more clear about it.
I feel like we've been okay. Maybe
I
we've
thought
not.
So.
No, for films, usually not spoilers. I think for shows and stuff, probably will have spoilers.
100%.
And then like bigger movies, like for Captain America, we had a non-spoiler and a spoiler section.
We talked about Captain America for like an hour and a half.
Yeah. Bad movie. Go watch that review if you want to see us rant. What do you want me to start with? Actually, I'm actually very curious just on a top level from your perspective. Because normally when I go see these movies, I will go with Owen and we'll go with her friend Samuel. Neither of them came to these, the fuckers. But I'm normally like, which one should we go see? Yeah. Like, at night.
Oh, you're wondering which one I would have gone
Which one would you have went to see? Because which do you think would have been better?
I would have assumed The Amateur would be better.
Sure, yeah.
I mean, it's got Rami Malek. Also, my interpretation of his character in this film is like Elliot in another universe.
He absolutely, Mr. Robot.
Yeah.
He absolutely is. I also would have thought the same thing. Shockingly, I did not enjoy that one as much as Drop. I'll start with Drop. Because I saw it first. Drop is a new thriller from the guy who made Freaky and the Happy Death Day movies, Christopher Landon. I've never seen any of those. I know they have their fans for that kind of like horror thriller. I feel like they lean on the like camp side of things. Like there's a little bit of levity to them. This is kind of just a straight up thriller about a woman, Megan Fahey. She is a widowed mother. And after years of being widowed, she decides to go on a first date with a guy that she's been chatting to for months. They go on their first date together. And while she's at this restaurant with him, she gets a drop, in air quotes, to her phone. That is somebody trying to like torment her. That she's going to have the worst night of her life and and all these things. And then suddenly she gets a drop saying that they know her name, they know her kid, like where her kid is, and she finds out that somebody's in her house with her kid and her sister. And if she doesn't do what the drops tell her to do, they're going to go kill her son.
So Drop is like airdrop.
It is airdrop. Now, if you can just get on board with the premise of this movie and the like kind of adjustments it makes to technology, you're locked in. It's fine. They mention airdrop, I think. I think the guy she's on a date with is like, oh, I use airdrop. But she has like an Android phone, so she's using like a third-party app that she doesn't know is on her phone called Let's Drop, I think.
Right.
But basically, it's very similar to airdrop. You can only be within a certain distance of the device to drop the messages. So she knows, because her date goes and checks for her, that it has to be somebody in the restaurant.
Ooh.
So Yeah, it's really interesting.
Does that mean somebody's in the restaurant and somebody's at home?
So, when she gets a drop saying that like, we've got your son, if you don't do what we're gonna say, we're gonna kill him. She has security cameras in her house and she can see that somebody's in her home in like a black mask. But they find out after this guy does this, after a date goes and like scouts out, that it has to be somebody in the restaurant dropping. So there's people working together. Yeah, this surprised me. This is not my type of movie. I think it's often very predictable, and I don't know. It's just not what I go to the movies for. I know some people are massive horror fans and thriller fans, and I think they'll have a field day with this probably. It's not my type of movie. However, I was surprised at how much I did enjoy this. The premise, it stays really serious, and I think that's to its credit. There's a waiter that is probably the only like comedic relief, because his first shift, and he's like he's not professional whatsoever. So she's going through all this like tormenting shit, and then he's like, "Hey, I brought your appetizers."
So do they have scenes where like they're having like a really stressful moment and then the waiter just like cuts in?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But that's the only like real form of levity. The rest of it is played really serious, and credit to Megan Fahey, who honestly, I don't know if I would have saw this movie were she not attached. I just probably wouldn't. We would have just spoke about The Amateur or whatever. For anybody that's not seen Megan Fahey in something, she was in the second season of The White Lotus. In my opinion, those shows are such ensembles, but in my opinion, probably one of the standouts, or maybe the standout of that season. She's a phenomenal actress, and she does wonderfully here. A large part of the premise is her, her date is aware that she's getting these drops initially. But when she finds out that her son, and this is all set up, this is not spoilers, it's the trailer. When she finds out her son has been captured or whatever, there's a guy in her house, the next drop immediately is basically like, you can't tell your date. Like, this is between us now. So her date's like, oh, have the drops stopped? Like, they think it's like a kid tormenting her or whatever. And she has to be like, yeah. But all of it's like played in her face, like, she is still tense about her son at home, and she's trying to engage with this date. So because she doesn't want the date to leave, because if the date leaves, the son dies. Like, so she's having to play with a lot, and she does it wonderfully. Like, you do feel tense because she feels tense. And the movie wouldn't work near half as well were it not for her. As you would expect with a movie like this, there are twists and turns. Nature of a thriller. I kind of saw them coming. I don't know if... Again, I don't really watch these types of movies, so I don't know if that's on me for figuring that out, or if it's like really obvious anyway. For instance, you're gonna find out who drops the images to her. To me, that was painfully obvious. And that obviously doesn't reveal itself to like third act kind of stuff. So it is a little like, but you can still know that and still be tense, because she can't get out of the situation that she's in. And then the third act kind of just devolves into like generic thrillery, actiony. They have to ham it up a little.
Gotta save the kid.
Yeah. And it's fine. It's all serviceable, but what really shines is like the middle section where she's tense. But after that's dissolved, after you kind of figure out who's pulling the strings, it is kind of just like, it's written how it's written. It's fine. There are some lines that are like, they should be camp in a different movie, but actually they work really well here. As like, I'm trying to even think of a movie to compare it to, and I can't. But like, do you know when like an action hero or something, like they're about to shoot somebody, and they're like, they say a line.
Time to die.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah. There's lines like that I'm like, why did that work? It really worked.
That's really interesting.
Yeah.
Because like, generally those don't come off well.
I was shocked.
Yeah.
But then with this, there's a lot of just like cringy stuff as well that doesn't work, that just brought it down a little for me. I will say it was creative. I think using phones in a movie is really difficult.
Yeah, I hate it.
A lot of people don't like it, and I saw an interview with the director talking about how he wanted to stay away from just like, and we're cutting to her phone again, showing another drop, showing another message, So what they do is, I'm not a massive fan of it. I actually didn't particularly like it, but I like that it was stylized in this way. So I don't even know if this is in the trailer. As she's getting texts, as these like drops keep piling up, we move away from her phone, and instead the text appears on screen, like this big, like ominous, techie font, and that's whatever. It's cool. It's another way of showing it. But the camera blocking was really interesting. So like at one point she's in a bathroom, and then text shows up on the screen, and you're like facing her, and then the camera cuts to like a back shot of her, but the text is still in place of where it was when it was a front shot. Yeah. So you see like reverse text, like the text has a position as much as she has a position in the scene. Really interesting blocking wise. It made for some interesting shots and stuff. But with that, I think there's also a lot of shots that just feel like, oof. Like there's moments where the lights kind of like dissipate and it kind of focuses in on her, and it just looks kind of cheap, and it's not really effective. I know what it's trying to do. It's trying to be like, look how isolated she's feeling, and it didn't particularly work. I actually think her just acting natural in these situations was far more like it showcased her emotions far better than the like flashy cinematography did. But otherwise, this is a solid movie. If you enjoy these sorts of movies, I think you'll enjoy it. I just thought it was fine. I thought it was good.
That's cool. That's not totally not what I was expecting from you. I thought I was expecting you to like come in and be like, got another one of these. It's repetitive. Sick of these. Not my kind of film. It's nice that you actually came out enjoying it.
Yeah, no, I really wasn't particularly looking forward to this. It was just kind of to see Megan Fahey, and she is great in this.
The other actor in this image looks like a Hemsworth brother.
Oh yeah, sure. Yeah. He walks in and you're like, oh Jesus, you're jacked. He's fine. The other actors in this movie are fine. I don't think they're particularly given a lot to deal with, but that's the nature of the film. I do props to that guy for staying as long as he does on the date with with this woman, because she has to make all these excuses, keep checking her phone and like leaving the table and doing different things and whatever as the movie progresses. And the man just kind of stays. He stays strong.
Like you said, they've been speaking. You said they've been speaking for months.
Yeah.
And so it's your first date. So
there are themes of like domestic violence and stuff in this.
Oh.
And that gets brought up kind of early in the movie. Like Megan Fahey's character is a therapist for people who have went through domestic violence. And I don't know, there's bits that like pull on your heartstrings a little, I guess, with like this woman. It's like her you know, her first, she's fully putting herself back out there. She really cares about her son, but like kind of like this enough is enough. She has to really try, and this guy is actually really receptive to the stuff that she's been through and whatever. Also, there's something else. There's one other thing. There's something about this movie that I also was like, oh, smart.
Cool.
It's, if you like these sorts of movies, you will like this.
So it's just like bog standard with like a little bit of sprinkling.
A little bit of sprinkle, yeah. A sprinkle of the good stuff.
Yeah. Cool.
Yeah. Fun. The Amateur.
This is sad. I thought.
I know.
To be fair, I did not think this was going to be good.
Yeah. Okay.
By any means.
Yeah.
But I'm worried about what you have to say about it.
Right. Okay. I'm gonna just. I don't really like starting with ratings and stuff, because I feel like.
Oh yeah.
You know, then people have a perception of a film and whatever, and I'd rather talk about stuff. But to give an idea of just how I felt about this movie, I rated this 2 out of 5. Now, in your head, you might be like, "Oh, that's a bad movie, then, Jack. Like, it's less than half. Blah blah blah." It's not bad. This film is just aggressively meh, and that to me, I struggle with movies like that because I'm just like, I've seen this done better. I've seen this done more interestingly. You're not engaging me at all, and then I end up going like, I don't actually do this often. And it was upon reflection that I was like, I'm dropping my score. I was actively like, how long do I have left of this movie?
That's not a good sign.
No, it's not a good sign at all. So, retroactively made me go, I just don't think this is particularly interesting at all. The Amateur, should you not know what this is about, it's fridging the movie. You fridging?
Yeah, yeah.
For anybody that doesn't know, the term fridging came from a short story or something where like a man is motivated because of his wife, because his wife was like chopped up and put in a fridge.
Yeah, I think it's like an ancient, not ancient,
Something
from like the 60s or something.
Yeah. Rami Malek is living an idyllic life as a CIA operative, techie bro guy. He's not a bro. Sorry, just.
Yeah, I don't
makes
think
him
this
sound like
this
Elon.
guy by any means.
Sorry, just a tech guy. He's living his life with Rachel Brosnahan, who is his wife, and his wife decides to go on a trip to London. And when she's there, she's involved in a terrorist attack and she gets killed. And Rami Malek decides to go to the higher-ups in the CIA and ask them to go find and kill his wife's killers. They refuse, though. So he decides to take it upon himself to go and find the 4 people that killed his wife and bring them to justice. That is The Amateur.
It's in line with Taken.
Yeah.
Except like she dead.
She dead. And Rami Malek is... Do you know, I saw a review of this going, I still can't tell whether or not Rami Malek is a good actor. And I think that's so fair. I think he's phenomenal in Mr. Robot. I think he's phenomenal.
Yeah.
But every other thing I've seen him in, it's like he plays the same shtick, like same character. And
I mean, that's probably valid for this film.
Oh, this is Mr. Robot.
Yeah.
Mr. Robot got hired by the CIA.
What else do you think he's the same person?
I don't know. I mean, I'm not a particular fan of his in Bohemian Rhapsody.
From what I remember, I like him in that film.
Great.
Granted, that was years ago. And then also, I watched Night at the Museum.
I've seen Night at the Museum.
No, but recently I watched
Oh,
it.
yeah, okay.
Not that he plays a big part in that, but I think he's like decent enough. I think he plays the comedy well.
You're a Bond man. Yeah?
Like
James Bond?
Yeah, but like...
You've seen No Time to Die?
I've actually not seen the last one.
Well, there we go. I guess neither of us can comment on that.
Have you not seen... Oh, no, because you've not seen the new ones or something.
I've only seen 2 Bond movies.
Oh, right. There was someone that I knew that had... was a big Bond fan, but hadn't seen any of the Daniel Craig ones. Which I thought was
weird.
so interesting.
That's really interesting.
Yeah, because like if
Someone
someone's a
our
Bond
age.
fan our age, yeah, you'd expect them to have grown up with the new ones. But no.
Someone Scottish?
I think... I actually don't remember. I don't remember who it was.
Huh. Because the 2 that I've seen, my dad dragged my ass to see Skyfall because it was like, Scotland!
It was huge here, yeah.
Yeah.
Also a very good film.
Yeah, no, great movie. Because I then was like, these movies are good. Let me go see Spectre. Then I stopped.
Yeah, Spectre's not bad. It's just not...
I didn't like
good. It's not like a good Bond. It's just like...
I like the opening, from what I recall.
Yes. Yeah.
The opening's really fun.
The Festival of the Dead.
Yeah,
And then it's
yeah.
like he gets on the train and the back of the train comes off or
Yeah.
something. I think.
A very Uncharted too.
Yeah, I guess. Casino Royale's very good. It's kind of a
I've heard.
two-parter with Quantum of Solace.
Which is bad.
Which is dog shit. It's the
Yeah.
worst one, as far as I'm aware. I think No
Bond
Time
ever?
of Daniel Craig.
Oh, okay.
I think No Time... it's definitely not the worst Bond ever.
Yeah, I was going to say, there's...
Yeah. No Time to Die, I think, lies in like the middle of the bunch of the...
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I know people who really enjoyed No Time to Die.
Interesting.
Yeah. Anyway, I feel like that also exemplifies how boring this movie is. I'd rather talk about Bond movies that I have not seen.
We just kind of veered into that, and then I kind of got excited to talk about Bond.
I think part of the issue with this movie is that it takes so long to set up that premise.
How?
I know. I'm not even joking, because I got a phone call in the middle of the movie. I was like, oh shit, I have to silence that. And I saw the time. And I was like, oh, it's been an hour. It's been an hour and we're not even into the plot yet.
How long's the film?
2 hours something.
2 hours something's fine, but if it's like 2 hours 30, that's unnecessary.
I mean, I'm trying to remember. Off the top of my head, it might be 2 hours 20, but that seems too long. No, it's just 2 hours. 2 hours 3 minutes. God, it felt so much longer than that. Yeah, it takes about half the movie to set up the fact that his wife gets killed and that he's going to do this himself. And the way he goes about this, again, like trailer stuff, so this isn't spoiling it, but it's half the movie, is that he's like playing a sort of like cat and mouse game with the CIA, because he's got something over them. I won't say what. And he's kind of like extorting them. Extorting, that's a word.
I believe so.
To get training from the CIA, because they're kind of like, yeah, okay, we'll train you up and then we'll let you go kill them. But meanwhile, they're working to try get something that he's done. And that's basically just to stall them. And then once they find the thing, he just leaves the training center and he goes away and he does the thing himself. Premise of the movie. He goes to kill these people. And because you know that, you know, he's going to kill 4 people, you know how long the movie's taking, because he's going to take down each of these people. I guess, like, part of the intrigue and the unique thing about this movie is because he's a tech guy, he's taking them down in different smart ways, because when he's getting trained up by Lawrence Fishburne, he's, like, really bad with a gun. Like, cannot shoot from far away at all. He can only shoot, like, really close. And Lawrence Fishburne's like, but you're never going to shoot somebody that close because you don't have the guts. So he resorts to, like, doing little techie things and whatever. And there is something that I actually want to say, and it's in the trailer, but I'm not, because if you've not seen the trailer, and you do watch this movie, it'll be satisfying in the movie. But surprise, like, he's going to kill these people. One of the kills that he does is actually kind of cool. It's completely in the trailer. Like,
I think I can remember one of them.
Water based.
No, actually, I don't remember.
Oh, okay. Never mind. And it was just a bit like, when you're spending like 20-30 minutes on these kills and one of them you just know what's going to happen, even though it's cool, it's kind of like eye-rolly. I really don't have a ton to say about this, because it just chugs along. It goes from beat to beat, as you would kind of expect. And there's no real, like, there's nothing unique about it. It's scared of a twist. Like, it just plays out as you would expect it to play out.
Epic.
I know, so cool. Until the end, I guess, but like, I don't know. There's also something super, super weird with this movie. Maybe this was brought up in the podcast, I don't know. Me and like 2 of our friends went to see something a few weeks ago, and we had trailers for The Amateur and The Accountant 2 back to back, and both of them featured John Bernthal as what felt like the same character.
You did bring this up.
Okay. So I was expecting John Bernthal in this, of course. John Bernthal is in 3 scenes maybe. He does not need to be in this movie. And moreover, the reason he is in this movie in his last scene makes no logical sense at all. And for a movie that feels like it should be very logical and this like brainy guy, it just feels like so out of place. Like, the plot isn't tight enough. Yeah, plot to go. Yeah, truly. Also, we had a question like a few episodes ago about hacking in movies.
Oh, is it terrible in this?
No, it's just like not fun. Like,
it's It's not like cool Mr. Robot realism or ridiculous hacker
Exactly.
stuff.
It's somewhere in the middle
boring.
where he's just like doing stuff and like, yeah, you can figure it out and you can get a camera and see this, and it's just boring. And a lot of the time is spent like him being smart and doing stuff on the computer, and none of it's engaging. If you want a movie like this, like spies and intrigue and all of that shit, go watch Black Bag.
Which is still in the cinema.
Is it?
It's 1 or 2 viewings a day.
Please, please, please go see that movie. It's so good, and it makes me appreciate movies like that more, that do have this real sense of style and something new going on. When you see something like this, it's just like, ugh.
Yeah, this the color grading on this looks kind of dreadful too. It looks like really drained. I don't know if it's just the posters, but I swear the trailer looks this way too.
No, yeah,
Where it's
muted,
really desaturated, and
yeah.
then it also has, in my mind, like I think it's because of the amateur logo. It's kind of like that pale blue, so it's like that weird like techie font.
Absolutely,
and if
it
like
comes
that,
up everywhere.
Yeah, that's how I imagine this film. Agents of S.H.I.E.L.'s like screens.
Yes.
Yeah.
Location, and then it's got the coordinates
Yeah,
underneath,
yeah,
because
like,
why not?
That's how I'm picturing a lot of the tech shit in this film.
Yeah.
I was gonna ask you, between the two of them, if you'd recommend either of them, based on the fact of like what you could recommend to go see in the cinema, and the fact that Black Bag is still in the cinema.
Yeah, I'd recommend you go see Black Bag. Especially if this is kind of like your bag. This like, thank you. This spy actiony.
I'd say that was quite amateur, to be honest.
Okay, good God.
You dropped the ball.
Even though Black Bag's not really actiony, I guess it's just better than this. It has more style. It has more to it. Bridget Jones isn't still in the cinemas. Like,
I don't think so. That's like my favorite film I've seen this year. I think.
Yeah, it's fucking mad. I honestly, I don't think there has been anything. Mickey 17, I would recommend people go see in a cinema, I guess.
I guess. If I had a gun to my head, then yeah, Mickey 17, whatever.
Black Bag, for sure. And I would recommend Drop for people who like that kind of movie. Or, like, maybe a good, like, date night movie or something. Like, just, like, I don't know, fun.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was Drop and The Amateur. If you've seen either of them, comment what you saw. I'd love to know. And if you disagree with me and you loved The Amateur, please tell me why. Because yeah, rough. Great cast as well, by the way. Fucking phenomenal cast.
Happens sometimes,
and it's
doesn't it?
just meh. So wasted. Shall we dive in to the robot revolution, Owen?
Wait. I got it with me.
He's brought it.
I don't know which button's which.
Wow, guys, isn't this really cool?
I thought you want to.
What? Wow. Our Doctor Who segment. Hurrah!
Yeah.
Yeah.
Really cool. I saw Shruti actually telling someone off on like Radio 1 because they were holding it this way, and Shruti holds it like the flat bit down.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah. Doctor Who lore.
I think that we should preface this with just your history of Doctor Who. Why this... Yeah, go.
Yeah, should I'll run through before we get to like this spoilery shit. My history with Doctor Who is that it came out in 2005. It was like April, so I was still 4, which is the prime fucking audience for Doctor Who. And my parents sat me down and were like, "You're gonna watch this show," and I was like, "Oh, cool," because my 4-year-old that like is influenced by absolutely everything. And then it had me in a chokehold, and I'm basically like just like a massive Doctor Who fan because I grew up with it, and regardless of how bad it gets, I still fucking watch it.
Mass is putting it lightly. Like, you really like this show. Like, you can like name random episodes. You're like, oh, when that happened in this episode,
like if you bring it back far enough, I can name episodes. So probably like a lot of season 1 to 4, like I'll just know episode names, and then like a lot of Matt Smith era stuff.
Yeah.
Some Capaldi. Could not tell you. That's the lie. I could tell you some Jodie episodes based on like probably having listened to people talk shit about Jodie episodes. Yeah, I don't know. It just stands out in my brain.
Yeah, just as a preface, I guess, as to why this is getting like a special treatment. Because I don't think that episode would warrant a spot on like a podcast. Anyway,
yeah. I mean, look, if this show is gonna die after this season, when am I going to get to talk about it?
That's so true. That's so true. Yeah, I recently rewatched the entire. Well, I say recently. It's probably been a year and a bit now
since
I rewatched the entire show.
Oh, yeah, I did.
I went into a depressive slump.
Not because of the show.
No, not because of the show. What was it? I watched like the entire show in like 20 something days, 30 days.
I mean, aside from like seasons 1 and 2
of Chuty's stuff.
No, aside from seasons.
Oh,
1 and
sorry,
2,
yeah.
You watched season 1. It took ages to
that
get
is
to
true.
like 2, and then you hit the depressive slump and just powered through the show.
Yeah,
I'd done it from about 2022 to 2023.
Yeah.
Like kind of like start or like mid to end, and so I had like a much easier time of watching that whole freaking show before the 60th specials.
Yeah, because that kind of spurred it on when the 60th specials were announced.
Yeah,
I fully like locked in and binged like the entirety of the show, and then watched a lot of it with you.
Yep,
and then.
A lot of
a lot of Jodie.
Yeah.
That's when we started watching together.
Yeah.
And then we've watched the majority of stuff since then together.
Yeah.
We've been going through it together.
Yeah, because like I said, like I've watched it every year as it's came out. Maybe not like bang on like the day or whatever it's come out. I think some Jodie stuff I let like pile up and then like got through some of it. So like even when I thought the writing was a bit like shifty in the Capaldi era, and like I didn't really have anyone to speak to about it, or like when Jodie era had really bad writing and there was absolutely zero people watching it. They are still watching along, but there's like nobody to talk to about it. It's different now. Because now that the writing's rocky, I have someone to talk to about it, and record talking about it as well.
Because I was a Doctor Who kid. It's weird to say that because like when I actually think back on it, it was like
the show was massive.
Yeah, like I had I was going to say the lightsabers. Jesus Christ, the sonic screwdrivers and like the collectible cards and Jesus
ruin the audio.
Sonic. The collectible cards and like video games and stuff. But I stopped. Like we watched it as a family. It was very.
I stopped.
I think a lot of.
I fucking grew up.
Sure. I think, especially if you lived in this country, at the time when we were kids, it was very much a family, show. And then it just, well, I'd say people would say it got progressively worse. I don't know if I'd agree with that, but it got to, what's her chops, Jodie's stuff, and we stopped. Not because of her. I actually liked her. The writing just was dreadful. But then I binged and I caught up, and look where we are now.
I think we were really hopeful. I think we should be like preface the fact that like the last season.
Yeah, thoughts on Chuty's last season. I guess
just not great. Like not what we expected. I mean, there are some like real standout episodes and real fun stuff in there. But I think when we watched the 60th specials, we generally, I think, had almost the exact same opinions about the episodes in there, and were really excited about like where the show was going to go.
Mean me and you had the same opinions?
60th.
Slightly. I remember I don't like the second special.
Yeah, and I was in the same boat, and then I watched it again, and I was like, I like it more, but it's still my least favourite of the three of them. Because, like, funnily enough, it is just them walking up and down a corridor.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Anyway, yeah, the last season was... iffy. The best episode, in my opinion, in there is Rogue, which is an episode which is not written by Russell T Davies or Stephen Moffat, and I think it's quite clear that there needs to be some new writers in the show. One of the people that wrote it was the woman that directed Loki. Can't remember her name.
Kate Herron?
It might be. That rings a bell. And there was another person that wrote it too. I think it was 2 writers on that episode.
If I plucked that out of my arse, congrats, chat. No, I am of the same opinion with that entirely. I just don't. The writing is super weak across the board. Kate Herron. Oh, look at me go! Fuck yeah! Thanks.
Wait. Just any chance to just ruin the audio.
All of like 3 people are listening to this segment anyway. People are skipping through this Doctor Who stuff.
No, it's the best one.
The writing is really weak. The characterization of both Ncuti's Doctor is not that strong, and Ruby Sunday has no personality.
I was named after a road.
My favourite line from that show.
Are you sure it's not? I'm Ruby.
I need to rewatch that scene, I guess. So going into this, I think we both had dirt rock bottom expectations. Also with the rumours that the show's just going to be like stopped after this season as well.
Yeah, I'm trying not to listen to those, but that clip that I sent you yesterday had me kind of like,
Yeah. For those that don't know, I guess, Disney have put a lot of money into Doctor Who. And it's not necessarily seen the returns that... This is all rumours as well. It's not seeing the returns that they want. But then there's also rumours about like this show makes its money off of merchandise, and it's never really made its money.
Merchandise?
See, that's what confuses
there's nothing
me.
now. I mean, this exists. But
Yeah.
There's not
How many
like
kids
children aren't
Yeah,
buying
exactly.
these. It's like fucking grown-ups like me.
Yeah. Also, I'm fully, after watching this episode as well, which we'll get to, I think this is just a kid's show now.
I'm in the same boat. I actually, I was telling you that I watched the season finale for the last season last night. Did both parts. Didn't have a great time.
You watched both parts.
I watched both parts. Well, I was talking about the time window, and that was the first part.
Okay.
The first scene after Ncuti lands, well, I guess after the credits, the opening credits, I was sitting there and I was like, oh, this is just a CBBC show.
Yeah. Yeah.
This is even the performances are equivalent to like the Sarah Jane Adventures.
Not to say that that's necessarily bad. It's just acting for a different audience.
Yeah.
Like, it's not prestige TV, I guess.
Yeah. And I feel like it was going to be on BBC One. It should be what the show. There needs to be grit to this fucking show.
Yeah.
Where's the like little bit of darkness to it?
Mm-hmm.
Those robots, and I'm just going to talk about.
Yeah. So from
openly
here on
talk
out,
about
we're
episode.
talking about episode 1 of season 2, the Robot Revolution. So spoilers.
Look at you remembering a title of the show.
I know a lot of the titles, and I think it's just because I have so many fucking conversations with you.
Well, there you go.
Wow.
Yeah, the robots were very colourful.
Yeah.
I mean, don't get me wrong. Like the screens, there was like some really good funny moments with the way that their faces changed.
They're basically the smile robots, though.
They are
Yeah.
better, I think,
Yeah.
because I fucking hated the smile robots.
Emojis.
Yeah. It's like you could see that Stephen Moffat was just trying to do something that was like modern.
Yeah.
And then seeing the old man Capaldi, he's not even that old when he's playing the Doctor,
No.
but like him just being like, yes, Clara, they have just emoji
No, it's
language in the
Bill.
future. Oh, Bill. It's Bill's like second episode, I think. Just like. Anyway, the best robot in this new episode is the Polish robot
Yes.
that can only say Polish.
That was the best part of the episode, guys.
The best character in the episode.
I was more shocked when that guy got powered off than when Ncuti's love interest of all of 2 seconds got killed off, and we immediately get Ncuti crying in this new season.
Yeah, you called it.
Yeah.
you were like, oh, like he's not cried yet, and then the next scene
He turns
cried.
and he cries to camera.
It's funny though, because like I think we're the sort of people that are not like, oh men shouldn't cry on TV.
Absolutely not.
Like,
No, yeah.
and like David Tennant, I think cried enough in Doctor. I mean, especially when like Rose went, and then like his final episodes and stuff. But it needs to be utilized well.
It's exactly what you said of. So, did you bring this up prior to her getting killed as well?
Yeah, I said. Well, she said something like, "Oh, I'm gonna fly in space with you," and then I went, "Oh, she's dead."
Yeah, yeah.
And then she died within 10 seconds, and you went, "Oh, like literally, like
Yeah.
right now."
I thought, because they've done this trope before in the show, the Doctor meets somebody, promises them that he'll take them with them, and then they have to sacrifice themselves at the end, and then the Doctor's like emotional and cries.
Kylie
Great.
Minogue.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. You've had time to build up that rapport with the audience. You understand the connection between those characters. That's just like writing, but like 101. This character is just killed immediately, and you, as you say, you are told to feel something for them, and that doesn't really come across. So then you have Chuti crying because they've learned that he can do that or something, because he did it. Was it literally every episode last season?
It was a lot of them. I think literally when we were watching this episode, she says the thing about traveling. I go, she's gonna die. Then you say something like, I can't remember what it was. Then she dies. You were like, oh, that was that quick. And then I went, they keep telling us to care about characters, but like they don't show it. They just like, and then they die, and then we're just told to be sad about them. And you were like, oh yeah, but he's not cried yet. Then we cut to the next scene, and then he cries.
And he's crying. Yeah.
Like, it's very predictable, weak writing.
It's so weak. It's so weird as well, because do they have a writer's room, or is this all him? Because
I mean, I think they've, as far as I can remember, they've always had a writer's room, but I've not seen any of the behind the scenes. They used to always show behind the scenes of the writer's rooms.
Yeah.
And I've not seen that recently, so.
I'm just astounded, because it is the same person who wrote season 1 through 4, and it just feels completely different.
And like his career has like only gone up since then.
Well, yeah, Owen watched Queer as Folk a while back, and because I think you've seen like most of RTD's stuff.
I've seen out like the big hitters, I think.
Okay.
Like the stuff that like I don't know if I call it popular, but like the ones that like are standouts. So like Queer as Folk, I think, put them on the map. Doctor Who is like a massive one because it's just big in the country. Years and Years, I don't think was that big, but it was just like a relatively
such a good. I forgot he
really
made
good
that
show.
Yeah,
and then It's a Sin was massive, like on awards and stuff.
And very funny watching that at the same time as them watching this and being like, wow, he wrote such like realistic and
You used to write real people.
character. Yeah, the people in this just feel like characters, and it's nuts. I guess a positive of the episode is I already like Belinda, this companion, more than I ever liked Ruby, and we spent a season with Ruby.
She feels like a person.
She feels like a person. I think there is still issues with like the way she's written. This whole like, I said this when we watched it. The opening scene of this episode is like a guy giving her a star certificate and her going, Miss Belinda, blah blah. But I don't really like the Miss. And I just thought, what? That line doesn't make sense, like at all in the context of what we've just seen. And I said to you, I thought it was like, oh, she's becoming a doctor and like she wants Dr. Belinda, whatever. No, it just is used as like a device to explain the villain at the end. You can't hinge an episode on a bad line of dialogue. Like, if it's noticeably bad and then you explain it, oh, it's noticeably bad because we needed it to be noticeably bad.
Genius writing, I think.
No.
I think that's some of Russell's best writing right there.
Okay. I like the way that she's been characterized as this like standoffish like opponent, I guess, to the Doctor. There are moments in this though that feel like he's trying to do the thing of writing in progressive stuff and forcing it into characters and it's creating odd lines of dialogue instead of it just letting it be natural.
Yeah, so I think like people nowadays are like Doctor Who's political, but it's always been political.
Always, yeah.
It's just back when he was writing it and it was political. He wrote like real characters.
Yeah.
And now when he's doing it, like, because the episode is essentially about an incel.
Yeah.
And like his like control that he has by the end, and that would have been more interesting had the incel been written like a real character.
Yep.
It's weird that he gets to the planet and then he like
on
Earth,
I can shoot people.
Yeah, on Earth he like kind of like is an incel, but like he gets this new planet and then he's like like just a villain straight away. Like it's fucking weird. The way that he speaks is, even though he is an incel, incels like are weird. Like the way he speaks is still incredibly weird.
Yeah. And I think you can like showcase that theme and like as you say, it's always been political. There's episodes in so many of the seasons that are like the episode about blank, whatever, racism, sexism, all this. So you can do that. It's been proven to be done. It's proven to be done very well. But like, don't write it in a way that's like we're writing about the issue. I think Belinda as a character is this really strong, independent woman, like, who, you know, knows what she wants and whatever, and is like this really hard worker, and that comes across in her character and the things that she does. You don't then need to add these lines of dialogue where she's like expressing that, if that makes sense. Mm-hmm. Where she whispers, "Planet of the Incels." I think we got the
Do you find it funny how like Russell feels like he's kind of copying himself in a way with the companions?
Yeah,
where like it's kind of like formulaic with like I guess David's first one and Chris's only one, and then David's second companion. Like literally down, it's like the whole like, so there's like super young female character who like I guess hasn't really seen the world or whatever, and then he like whisks her away and travels with her, minus the relationship this time, I guess, like the love interest aspect of it. And then now we have someone who is like a medical professional who actually like pushes back and seems like a fleshed out character. Like, is the next character going to be like this goofy, like
Bumbly,
yelly, character that like...
Well, we're not getting a next season, so I guess we're fine. I have a real issue with how this show looks now as well. It's like
really bright.
It's bright. It's like
clean.
Yeah, it's so clean. There's no muck to it. Like, say what you will about Jodie's seasons, I think they looked great.
Yeah, they were shot well. Aside from like, I think some, I don't know. Sorry, not shot well. A lot of like a production design was great.
I just think a lot of it was shot well.
Some of it was shot really badly as well.
Some of it was shot incredibly poorly.
But I guess it's better than what we have.
It just feels like the amount of money that's being poured into this as well. It's I don't know, because we also last season we watched a lot of the behind the scenes and a lot of the like practical stuff that they're doing, which is really impressive and admirable and stuff. Something about their like compositing with the CG or like how they're going about stuff, I just don't think it looks good, or it screams childish. It's really hard to like, I don't know, take seriously, I guess. Not that the show needs to be taken seriously, but like...
No, but there was like grit.
There was grit, yeah.
And like not always, like they managed to do like, Christopher Eccleston's like first episode was kind of like grounded, because like on Earth. Then the second one's like ridiculous. And then the third one's Victorian London with Charles Dickens, and it's a bit like darker and kind of like spookier for a child as well. It's like ghosts and stuff.
Yeah. Would a child be scared of that?
No.
But right, this is also what I think is, which I didn't bring up. It's childish, but it's also not. The writing's not. Like all of last season, it's like pulling back on villains that are like from the old show, and like it's meant to be this big grand reveal, and like
the Sunak part.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I don't know if that means it's not for children just because you're pulling back a character, because like
sure,
then you'd be arguing that they'd be writing for like 60-year-olds.
Or just like fans because they're fans. Like, I don't know. I just think there's a real something's not flowing with what they're doing.
I think the thing that baffles me the most is I can remember really really far back when Russell was coming back to the show and he said something about how children or fans in general are like more intelligent now, like people know more about the world, so the writing will have to show that, but it's done the opposite.
Yeah,
like it spoon feeds you everything. There's no like reading between the lines.
no, there's absolutely not. There's no
subtext.
It's so black and white.
Yeah.
And I think that becomes an issue because there's absolutely no like no processing going on while you're watching it. You're going to be explained it anyway.
No.
Like there was a whole plot of this episode where it was like every ninth word the robot couldn't hear. Interesting. It's never really utilized again, bar a point where the doctor's going, the robots are evil and they can't hear every ninth word. And she goes, okay, heard you. He goes, good. I'm going to start a revolution. When's it happening? Now.
Yeah. Didn't even need to do that in that scene.
Yeah, you didn't need to do it.
It's only a setup for the last scene so that you can hear...
That the guy's in pain?
Actually in pain, yeah.
But
it's not the worst thing in the world.
It's not the worst thing in the world, but I think when it's compounded with so much that's like... It just becomes tiresome to watch. Oh.
I want to say something else about the show in general, but I don't remember what it was.
Are you excited for this season, the rest of the season? Yeah.
Not at all.
That sucks.
I don't think there's anything to... Oh, I remember what I want to talk about. They've put out... I'm out the loop in this show now because last year I can remember when they put up like the promo for the episode titles because they had little animations with them. I didn't realize they'd fucking done that this year. Oh, right. And then I had like a thumbnail that was like talking about a theory for the third episode of this season. The theory is that the third episode is going to be a sequel to Midnight, which is a really good self-contained David Tennant episode, which is a fear of the unknown episode that you don't like get to find out anything about like what the kind of like creature is. So I think the episode's called The Well, and it's so 2 weeks from now when I'm back, the next episode we're watching together will be that one, and I really hope it's nothing to do with Midnight.
Sure.
The other theory is that it could be a sequel to the two-parter with the beast at the end of it.
Oh.
Still a really good self-contained episode. Doesn't need explaining. The best part of that creature is the fact that you don't know necessarily like how it exists. Like it's more mythical than it is scientific, and that's interesting.
I also think because they rebooted the show, I just don't think they should make new stories, make stuff that's like classic now.
Unfortunately, that never seems to work. Some of the best ones I feel like are like when they bring back some of the best ones from the last early run of the last bit of the show. So like New Who before Shooty was like some of the Dalek one, like Stolen Earth and stuff. I feel like Chris Chibnall came in and went like, we're going to have nothing relating to the past of Doctor Who, and that's what he did for his first Jodie season. And it's horrendous.
Yeah, none of that. I don't know. I have my theories about this season. That girl's not making it back home. Sorry, Belinda. Girl, you're gonna have a doomed fate. You're the doomed fate.
Doomed?
Yeah, doomed fate companion. Like, her fate is doomed.
I think they will make it back to May 24th because they've done the Stephen Moffat July whatever.
Right, okay. They're gonna make it back.
And then she dies.
Yeah, well, I have a theory that she just is that person that they met.
But she'd know who the Doctor was.
Or like, no, she wouldn't, because it's the past version of her.
What do you mean it's a past?
So like they met for anybody that's listening to this.
No, you're saying Monday's after this version of her.
Yes.
Yeah, I understand that, but then she'd know who the Doctor was in that episode.
Oh, sorry. Yeah.
You should have to hit her head or something. Have her memory.
Yeah.
And that just seems pointless. Like, if that becomes the conclusion of that character...
I don't have faith that they're going to wrap up anything, because the whole thing with Ruby Sunday is, why does it fucking snow when she's around? Because you're special. Like, the whole season that built up and none of it got paid off, and he's like, oh, guess you'll just have to wait and see.
Russell was quite good with like hard sci-fi in his first run, where like everything was kind of like self-contained.
Yeah.
And now it's just things do what they want because the magic box opened and suddenly like we have mythical creatures and things.
Yeah.
Which is a really nice concept, but when you just use it to like loosely write stuff, it hurts.
Yeah. It's so annoying because there's been so much now. If this had started off on a great foot, I maybe would feel differently. But because we've had so many consecutive episodes that have just been bad, it's so hard to get excited for.
So much better than the Space Babies, though.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's a better jumping on point.
Yeah, sure.
Because you're not... Yeah, I would say it is. Because you've got like a better episode with a more interesting companion. And also you're not spoon-fed information about the Doctor immediately. There's like a mystery to who this man is. Because if you remember Space Babies, he brings her onto the ship, and I think the opening scene is like him being like, I'm a Time Lord from Gallifrey, this is my shtick, and he's just like out with it. And some of the most interesting stuff of Christopher Eccleston, David Tennant's run was just like, that stuff was like drawing blood from a stone. It took so long to get all that information out. First time he like openly sits and talks about Gallifrey is at the end of season 3.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah.
But, he's grew as a person.
Yeah, and I like that too, but now he just like spills everything.
He's messy.
He's just like out with it all the time. And it doesn't make for an interesting character. Maybe in real life that's great and healthy or whatever.
I want my daughter to be mentally ill. Thank you. RTD's listening. Okay.
Yeah, it's taking
a little bit of depression.
Yeah. I mean, sure, that's all that's going to happen because like the whole point was like this was the no baggage Doctor.
Yep.
But he's going to get his own baggage.
Yep. And it's going to be Belinda. She's not making it home. Or they will make it home, but she'll have to sacrifice herself.
With a name like Belinda.
Hey, Belinda, my queen from the White Lotus. What a show.
Sigh.
Yeah, nothing else to say about Doctor Who.
Not really.
Yeah.
I was actually kind of excited to talk about it, and then the more we talked about it, I was just like, oh, the show dead.
Yeah.
Not yet. Honestly, I wouldn't mind if this period kind of failed, but they didn't do like a hard reboot. So next season was still shooty. Then you can bring in whoever companions they want. It's just a BBC show, and possibly new writers.
I agree.
Yeah.
Yep.
And just see what they're able to do with that tighter
We've got a
budget.
spin-off though,
which is still this year.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
Being confirmed.
I think it's supposed to be the back half of this year.
Right.
I'm not excited
Okay.
about that. So.
Yeah.
And if that's like a unit show and the unit that we've seen is just like CBBC unit, then what's happening?
Yeah. I think it's interesting as well in a world where we have franchises that are for kids but also extremely for adults. The success of Marvel, which I don't think has ever... do I agree with what I'm about to say? Yeah, I don't think it's ever went into like childish territory. Ever, but children still watch it. I don't know how that's not like replicable, especially when they're under Disney and stuff. Like Star Wars as well, like all these franchises that are able to do this. And maybe there is something cool about, there is something geared towards kids. Maybe don't make it the show that has all this legacy to it, and also you have people that are already going to watch it that aren't like children, so...
Yeah, it's weird. I guess maybe the thinking is like try and draw kids in, But kids aren't interested in watching
No,
childish things.
yeah. And also, like, not for nothing, but like you can have childish material, but like elevate it, like any Pixar, like film or show or whatever. Like, I think people think childish means it has to be childish, but no, it's not that. Also, the draw of Doctor Who, I'm sure for you as a kid, I mean, for me, it's like, oh, this cool thing that was on, like, that you were maybe gonna get a little scared about, but like, this character was why you were drawn to it, like, the companions and
I don't think it was ever
like,
fear for me because it never really freaked me out.
the Weeping Angels.
Yeah, I never remember really being scared. The only thing that weirdly set me off was like seeing the Doctor as like an old man.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah. So I wonder what that says.
Huh.
But like, yeah, no, I think you're right. Like the charisma of a lot of those characters, or the interesting ways of which those characters were written, or the actual performances. It was what gave me a love for like sci-fi. So like actually well written sci-fi.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't like this now. It's just funny that you're like, oh yeah, you can elevate kids stuff, and the example that you literally could just use is Doctor Who from 2005 to 2018 or something like.
Yeah. Well, that was the thing. We sat together like as a family, and all of us watched it. All of us were excited about sitting down like whenever to watch it. Like, it really wasn't until like me and my brother aged out of the show.
No,
but
I think that's about.
I do wonder though if Jodie's seasons had been like comparable to previous, if we'd keep watching.
But you never finished Capaldi the first time around, no?
No, I did.
But it's funny because all you could remember was the puddle.
Well, from that season, I was like, oh yeah, the girl who turns into the puddle.
It's just funny because like that
is a good finale.
Yeah, arguably like one of Capaldi's best
obviously,
stories.
I remember Missy. I mean, come on now.
Yeah, who could forget?
Yeah. But no, we watched the first little bit of Jodie's and was just like, as a kid as well, or as a teenager, felt like the show just fucking threw itself off a cliff. So,
yeah, I remember watching the first episode of Jodie's being like, I like that. That was like whatever. It's like not a lot happened. There was an introduction. You see her like jump across a crane. I was like, that's cool as fuck. Like, it was a cool stunt. And then like the second episode is just like kind of boring still, but they're on a different planet. And then the third episode was like bad, and I was like, oh, this isn't. What's happening to the show? The show was supposed to get better again. What's happening?
Well, also kind of what we were saying. You're drawn to companions, and the Doctor, like the Doctor, hated every single one of the companions, and there was 3 of them. Like, I think in large part that helps. Like, I liked Ncuti as an actor. I actually still don't know how to feel about his Doctor. Yeah. I ended last season kind of liking him, but
I'm kind of in the same.
I genuinely don't know.
He had good moments in this episode.
He did, but something that's just not perfectly clicking with me. And Ruby's just like genuinely one of the worst companions. So it's not her fault, Millie Gibson, but her character is just
badly written.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She's given nothing. I mean, part of the issue with having 8 episode seasons as well.
Yeah, I think that's why there's so much of like we're expected to care about stuff, but we can't because there's so much just chopped out.
However, there are so many shows that have less than 8 that I'm invested in more than 2 characters as well. Do you know? Graham Norton has been announced to be a part of the show though, so we're excited for that.
Graham Norton, the man who shits on sci-fi and fantasy.
Oh shit! Yeah, you did say this.
So interesting.
Yeah. Well, it's the Eurovision episode, so.
It all makes sense now.
Yes. Him and Rylan, get ready.
Nice.
Will we talk about this every week?
Maybe I'll just give a really quick rundown of how I felt.
So if you want, we'll do little Owen updates. Are you actually gonna send one in there next week?
Maybe not, because you might record it before I even get a chance to like watch it.
Fair.
I'd have to get you to hold off, and that'd be kind of mean. So
yeah, I guess you'll get my 2 cents.
Or are you gonna have like a really quick rundown of?
Or maybe I quite like the look of next episode. I like that period of time. And
did we watch it next time?
Yeah.
Did we?
Yep. The 60s, 50s, 60s. Cartoon.
Oh,
There we go.
cool. Go on.
Go on.
I was about to be like, we did not. I think it's because the next time was 3 seconds long.
And also, sorry, the worst thing about getting 8-episode seasons is that normally they would have a coming up on Doctor Who, and it'd be like, oh, we're getting that alien, we're getting this, like this is what's gonna happen. None of that shit.
Yeah. Granted, we didn't always get that.
No, but when we did, it was like, oh yes, let's go.
I think my favorite ones were like, sometimes they'd done that. No, when they used to do that, it was like after a Christmas special.
Oh yeah.
But you'd only get the like the first half
The first
of the season
half,
because it's like what they'd shot and edited.
Yeah. Love it.
Yeah.
Shall we end with the question, Owen?
I suppose. I'm assuming this is going to relate to Doctor Who in some way, but
You said that last week.
no, it's not. This is great. This isn't like a backlog of question. This is like a new question.
Okay.
Since you clearly inspired Keir Starmer to allow Universal Studios to build a theme park in the UK with your discussions about a Disneyland in Slough, what movies, TV shows do you think would make great themings for areas in a theme park? Any rides, ideas, and attractions come to mind for those areas? Which character meet and greets will be there? Not limited to Universal Studios, although I'm sure they are listening in if you want to include a few to give them some inspiration.
That's brilliant. Yeah, if anybody missed it, Owen made a flippant comment about how Rachel Zegler was going to perform at Disneyland in London. He was like, oh yeah, Slough.
Yes.
Sorry.
Disneyland Slough.
And literally a few weeks later, we have had an announcement of Universal Studios. It's outside of London. I don't know where it is actually.
It's in starts with a B.
Birmingham. Belinda.
Universal.
Yeah, I didn't look into it that much. I just saw the images.
Bedford.
Of course.
Of course, we all know Bedford.
So yeah, this is fun. You're a theme park person.
Yeah,
You've been to a lot.
Yeah, because, like, I'm not big on heights and stuff, so I'm not like a big roller coaster guy. Mm-hmm. But like as a kid, I went to like Disney and stuff, so I'm big on like the actual theme.
Yeah.
Like I'm not like an amusement park person. I'm a theme park person.
Yeah. Oh my god! Then you must be sorry. I'm gonna completely derail this conversation. Uh-huh. You've seen the videos from the influencers who've been invited to Epic Universe.
Yes, can we talk about that actually?
Sure.
And then
we'll move back to the question.
Have you seen Hiccup?
Yes,
Have you seen both Hiccups?
I've seen the old Hiccup and I've seen the young Hiccup.
Yeah, I keep trying to speak to people about 40-year-old Hiccup and nobody knows what the fuck I'm talking about. And I just find it hilarious because not only does the younger version look like Hiccup, but he also does the performance very well. His voice is better,
incredible,
and the movement's better than the 40-year-old Hiccup. It's hilarious. Like I tried to explain it to someone. They went like the one from the end of the third one. I'm like, no. This is young Hiccup, but played by a 40-year-old man. Yeah, it's just really funny.
Well, I remember I was scrolling TikTok and I'd seen the young guy, and I saw a guy actually talk about how he needed the Hiccup biblically, like from the theme park, and I was like, oh, good on you, I guess.
I think I saw that video as well.
Oh really?
Yeah.
I saw the like 40-year-old one. I was like,
it's funny because it's just two of them, I think.
Yeah.
And I'm just sitting there like, these are the only two you could get. So you got like one that's like accurate and another one that's like the closest thing that you get to Hiccup.
Yeah. Have you seen other stuff though too with Epic Universe?
Yeah. So I kind of wanted to talk about just because you brought that up, immersion in Universal Studios. So like Disney are really good with like you are completely immersed. I think that's like why I kind of like theme parks, is it's kind of like you are in that world.
Yeah.
The Universal clip that I saw was them bringing Toad out. Like it comes out of a hallway and it's like the cutest thing ever. But the comments were like, these people that work there that let Toad out look like tourists themselves because of the way that they're dressed.
Oh, that's funny.
And also, there's the corridor looks like the behind the scenes of the theme park. Like when you open those massive doors, you can just see like this grey corridor or whatever.
Oh.
So like your immersion's completely ruined. Like if it was Disney, they would have had that corridor look like the rest of Mario World or whatever.
Yeah.
Or Nintendo World. Yeah, I don't know what else they have there.
Have you seen the Ministry of Magic?
Very briefly. The actual inside of it just is the Ministry of Magic.
Unreal. Yeah. Like it's the queue for the ride. You when you're going into the queue, you step into names and stuff. The like
chimney.
Yeah, and
the
flute powder. Thank you. So when you walk through, the flute powder goes off.
Yeah, I've seen
then
that.
You walk through, and then the flute powder goes off again, and then you walk into the ministry.
Oh.
And it is literally just what you see in the movies, that ministry. You are then walking through the entire thing.
Yeah.
Dolores is up there, like in the newspapers, like doing her shtick. It's so cool.
They've done a very good, based on that, very good connection between each section, I think, because the Mario World, you go up like escalators, but you're in like the green tubes.
Oh,
and then
yes.
I think you come out, and then there's like the noise for you exiting the tubes. Just brilliant.
Love it.
I don't know what else they have though, aside from Harry Potter, Nintendo, House Tree. There's Dark Universe, which I've not
seen anything.
I don't think anybody's like all that interested in that one,
which is crazy.
But it's like an old thing. Like this what we were talking about like last week, where like it's still, they're like iconic and everyone knows them and everything, but your interest, I guess, is what you've grown up with, and stuff that's like kind of fresh and new, as opposed to this thing that is, I mean, we've got Frankenstein and all the stuff that comes with that exists decades ago, and then all we know are like reboots of these things that are all shit.
Yeah.
So I think people are going to be more interested to go to things that relate to them.
Unless it's not open, because it's weird to not seen anything.
Maybe.
There is another section, but I'm blanking on that. It all just looks really cool. I think the like craftsmanship, exactly what you were saying, like the theme stuff, that's what looks really cool. I've never been to like any of the American parks or anything, but from like videos and stuff that I've seen, just looks like you are there, like you are immersed in like part of the world. Especially like the Star Wars stuff that I've seen.
Yeah, there's so much been. So last time I went to Disney World and stuff, so Orlando, I was 15. There's so much added since I was last year.
Sure, yeah.
On Disney's part, as far as I'm aware, I'm not really sure about Universal. I think Universal are really good at like opening new parks and things, and Disney are better at adding stuff.
Yeah.
Because Disney have Marvel, Star Wars, and like Pandora now.
Fuck yeah, yeah.
It's just like these massive worlds that have been added on, but like I said, the Marvel stuff isn't at Orlando.
Yeah.
So you'd have to go somewhere else for that. I'm assuming Paris would have some.
The Marvel stuff, I think they have a Marvel campus.
Right.
The Avengers campus or whatever.
I was trying to get an image up here that would that I could talk about what is rumored for Universal in the UK.
Yeah.
As far as I'm aware, James Bond is part of that.
Oh.
Again, it's rumors though.
Huh.
Lord of the Rings would be one.
No way.
Yeah.
They're not gonna do.
Harry Potter not one, because
because the TV show.
No.
Oh.
Universal bought the rights from Warner Brothers, because Warner Brothers obviously.
Oh yeah.
But it's the theme park rights for America and Asia. That's what they have.
Wow.
So they can't do anything with Harry Potter in the UK. Warner Brothers still has the rights there.
Crazy.
And Warner Brothers aren't going to do that because they already have the studio tour.
Yeah.
So there's a pretty certain zero chance.
No, you're
of that.
so right. Yeah. Especially with the show coming up as well.
You think that would be against having that?
I do think I think could get into a whole thing about the Harry Potter show in it of itself, but like Diluting that brand when you have such iconic stuff
Yeah.
is really bizarre. Like those parks and stuff, now it makes a lot more sense to me now that you're saying, I didn't even clock that it was Universal, but like they can make a new Ministry of Magic that looks nothing like the one that we've seen because they don't give a shit if it doesn't align with the parks. Like, huh.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Back to the question.
Yeah, the question was if...
What would you like to see? Should I just say Doctor Who?
Of course you would want to talk
Because like you just do the build the lightsaber with like a sonic screwdriver.
That's smart.
You like easily have like a TARDIS ride.
Yeah.
You'd be in the TARDIS. Like they could easily just do like big building. That's
Big building.
Yeah, you usually do big building that was like the outside of like flats in London, and then in front of it just this box, and when you open the box, the back of the flats are just like the inside of the TARDIS.
Yeah,
like the immersion's easy.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I don't know. You'd have monsters running about. There's so many to choose from.
Yeah, you could get a park or a whole land out of that for sure.
Like a section, I think.
Yeah. God, I don't know.
What's a good franchise? Because you can't really see anything Disney because Disney have.
See, that's what. Yeah, you can't really say, "Oh, I'd love to see a Marvel thing," but like that exists. I guess my brain goes there because I'm like, oh, I've never been to like that. I would love to go to a Star Wars world. That exists. That is where my brain goes though. Like immediately.
What about things that aren't? What about like Netflix?
Like some stuff that isn't franchises.
No, just like go on.
Like a Fury Road.
Oh, that's really cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know how that would quite work. That could be a ride. That easily could be a ride.
Yeah.
And then like a deserty sand would be a struggle though as a theme
That
park.
can you imagine? Yeah, they went cleaning up.
Dude.
Fury Road's more interesting than Dune.
I agree.
Because Dune, there's not much to do. Like there's a ride the worm, ride you could do.
Yeah.
Like fucking what else? Like everything else would be like the theme side of it and not like the roller coaster.
You could do an arena.
Oh, fair.
That kind of stuff.
And that'd be a good show.
That
they do
would be a
shows
good
at theme
show.
parks.
Yeah.
And I don't know what else you would necessarily be show worthy. Like of Doctor Who, I don't know
what show would be. You could have like Caladan as a planet, like Arrakis, and then I'm blanking on where the Harkonnens are, where that arena is, whatever that planet's called.
This is an excellent idea.
Yeah, I quite like that. Barbie.
Yeah.
That movie basically was a theme
Barbenheimer.
park. Ooh. I'm not sure about that one.
No, I think that's pretty spot on.
The Grand Budapest Hotel.
Why?
Just cool.
Yeah,
A Wes Anderson theme park.
I was just thinking like, oh, you could just do like really subtle theme park where you just build the location and then you just go like bars and shops in there. I guess that's just downtown Disney.
Yeah, also like New York.
No, because I'm talking building like a whole place. Like the place might not be real.
Oh right, sorry. They were just like, well, lots of movies have been shot in New York, so what if we just made New York? That's so silly. I really like the idea of a Wes Anderson theme park.
I'm gonna say a larger like Indiana Jones section.
Ooh, nice.
Like that already exists.
They have
like,
a
Indiana
ride.
Jones stuff. They have.
Or more?
All I can remember is a show, because Indiana Jones makes an excellent stunt show.
I've been on an Indiana Jones ride.
Really?
So I've been to Disneyland Paris. There is a ride
Oh, cool.
there. Yeah.
When I went to Disney, in terms of Star Wars, all they had was a stage where you had like stormtroopers and Darth Vader and stuff come out.
Oh, cool.
And a ride round the back of it, and that was it.
Where it's like you just like riding a spaceship.
Yeah, I think it was like one of those virtually kind of. Yeah.
Same thing was in Paris.
Yeah.
Not the Darth Vader stuff, but that ride. Hunger Games?
Is this just because you want to win?
Yeah.
You want to be
in the Hunger Games.
Yeah, that could be a show.
That could be a show. Well, it is a show. It's coming to the West End.
What?
Yeah, I'm not even joking. You should see that you pick which district you want to sit in, and you like watch the Hunger Games. I don't know how this is gonna go, but it's happening.
Well, that's crazy.
Yeah, absolutely crazy. I don't know. I feel like a lot of these have to be like franchises just because there is more to play about with the world, I guess. Is there a Lord of the Rings thing as of
Like
right
ever?
now? Well, like theme park.
Yeah, I don't know.
Because just when you said that might be in the UK, that's
Hobbiton exists.
as a real place.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Now I'm getting flashbacks to Graham Norton like making fun of Elijah Wood.
Oh.
Yeah, and then Robin Williams is like, "Leave him alone, my boy."
My boy.
It's a really old clip. But if you want to see Graham Norton bullying someone for like liking something they're interested in, then go watch it.
Get ready. Owen's gonna tear into it. Mission Impossible.
Why?
No, I don't like that.
Because I think that one's really grounded in like reality.
Yeah, it is.
But that'd make a great stunt show. That is the stunt show.
Uh-huh. Big Hero 6.
San Francisco.
Yeah, that'd be a really cool like additional.
Yeah, but then you're just building San Francisco with the
No,
Tokyo twist.
That's diminishing the work that was put into that movie, Owen.
The creative work.
Yeah, I think a WandaVision part would be really cool where you go through different stuff. Wicked.
Yeah, okay, just Wizard of Oz. Yeah.
Wicked, Wizard of Oz, all that shit. You could build, whatever, Munchkin Land.
Yeah, no, I think you could do the bit where Ariana Grande like opens, and then easily off in the distance. What?
Sorry, the bit.
Like the
bit where Ariana
song.
Grande opens. What?
The bit in Wicked where like she like lands in the bubble and she's
Oh
like,
right, so.
And then off in the distance you could easily do like I can remember they have a Tangled Tower somewhere in Disney World, and it's tiny.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's probably, I say tiny, it's probably like a lamppost somewhere, but like it's off in the distance, so it looks like it's like this thing on the hill that's like massive. You can just have like the Emerald City or whatever.
Oh, you can build the Emerald City.
Yeah, I'm just trying to like think of. I'm trying to be like economical, like the
sure.
resources and shit.
Hey,
like how big would the city have to be? Like how big would that thing have to be?
I think no. I was gonna say I think a land that was like teen movies could be kind of fun, like
The Teen
Mean
Beach
Girls
movie.
and Lady Bird, and that doesn't work.
Those two things don't go together.
No,
at
they
all.
don't. But it'd be really funny, wouldn't it? John Wick. John Wick would make a great ride. X-Men.
Yeah.
I'm just like I guess we've named tons.
You're just naming franchises.
Yeah. I guess at this point,
There's
Wizards of
nothing you
Waverly
really
Place.
want to see. Oh, one of the rumors things in the Universal in the UK was Back to the Future, which I fucking
awesome.
love and missed out on in America because I went.
It's in America?
It used to be.
Oh.
They used to have a Back to the Future ride, which then became the Simpsons ride. And it did that like the year that I got there.
Oh, I'm sorry.
So I just
that
missed
sucks.
But they'll still have the footage for that ride, so they can just reopen it somewhere.
That's true. I just thought, not necessarily movies, but like video games and stuff. Is there anything?
Oh, Uncharted. I don't know how, but get me in Uncharted world.
Oh, Uncharted. Overwatch would be a very cool.
Oh, that would be so stylized.
Yeah.
Like, you could build like parts of the different maps.
Yeah.
That's where a lot, like talking about San Francisco, like so much work's gone into like designing those maps.
Yeah.
And like I feel like seeing those in real life would be very cool.
The Last of Us would be an awesome world as well. It would be weird.
Just dystopian.
Yeah. You could have like. You could frame it. How would you frame it? Like where the clickers aren't like gonna come and fucking.
Can we just get like a Naughty Dog land after they release this new game? You're like dystopia, like adventure, space, and then like Crash Bandicoot.
Yeah.
People would say Fallout, I think, for like a land.
Oh, that'd be great. Yeah.
I think anything Bethesda you could turn into like a land, like Elder Scrolls franchise.
Yeah. And I'm just trying to think like TV shows then as another avenue.
Doctor Who.
Doctor Who?
Whoa.
Surely there's like other TV
My
shows.
brain went to Primeval, but that's just like Jurassic Park.
Jesus.
A CW DC universe.
No. Oh, a DC land.
Yeah, it's weird, isn't it? I mean, we do have bits and bobs of that. Well, so...
Oh, Six Flags, they own that, don't they, or something?
Also, I think Universal has some stuff, which means they have Marvel and DC in there.
Really?
Yeah.
Do they have a Hulk?
We have a Hulk. They have the Hulk right now as an adventure. I seem to remember seeing like the Hall of Heroes or something in one of those parks, which I think is DC.
Yeah.
And I did also buy a Superman hat in one of those parks.
Nice.
So there's crossover somewhere. But yeah,
That's
you're right.
So strange.
Warner Brothers have their own parks and
Severance.
Yeah, great idea, Jack.
It's just an office building.
Yeah.
And then what if they managed to do the severance procedure? So you forgot your time in the park.
That's horrific. Wait, so you're just feeding someone else a way more fun life?
Yeah.
That'd actually be a really interesting take on that show, because those people would just live that all the time. They'd get bored. And then they'd be like, we're trapped doing the same quote-unquote enjoyable things all the time.
Which is so funny. Did you know there was a Blade TV show? Oh, okay.
No?
Yeah, that's crazy. Watchmen would be a really cool universe.
Yeah.
The TV show. Like,
a lot of them you're trying to have to weigh up, like, again, like, who's going to be walking about the parks. I mean, part of this question is, like, what are the meet and greets?
Uh-huh.
Can you imagine, like, the boys and, like, the meet and greets with, like, Homelander?
Oh my god! Wait, that's genius. Yeah, because then you get like Evil Queen moments, but with Homelander.
Yeah, it's very much like that restaurant in the UK where it's just like the people are like really mean to you.
Karens. Yeah.
It's just that, but like as a park.
That's really smart.
What can I say? I'm a genius.
Wow.
Narnia.
Really good.
Yeah.
Yeah. Did you hear the rumors?
Did I start new rumors?
Aslan apparently has been cast.
Willem Dafoe.
Meryl Streep.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
That was the perfect casting, and we didn't
get it. And apparently the internet hates that idea because they're gender bending Aslan.
Oh no.
Oh no.
But God is a woman.
Period. And that was Plot to Go episode number 16.
Yeah. You sure it's 16?
I really wasn't, as I said that. As we said at the top of the episode, Owen is away next week. Sad. Not sad for him. He's gallivanting across the states. Lucky.
Some of it.
Some states.
Yeah.
He's avoiding the ones with troubles.
I think they all have troubles.
They all have troubles at the moment.
Yeah.
So it will be a solo episode. How terribly sad. I'm going to talk about Sinners next week and Warfare, which are both getting really good reviews, so really excited. And also just like a catch up of everything else. There's been a lot that we haven't spoken about, so it'll be bits and bobs you can jump about on different episodes. I saw stuff like Y2K. I have a lot to say about Y2K.
I just realised that to have a conversation with you about films next week, I have to actually watch the podcast.
Oh sure,
not to have a conversation, but to like get your side of things.
Yeah, I guess
I have to actually listen in to get that information. Really funny. That's crazy.
and I saw an independent movie called La Coquina, which I'll maybe speak a little bit about, and then also talk a little bit about The White Lotus because that wrapped up.
Guys, next week's gonna be like a 3-hour.
It won't. I'm packing myself with a lot of stuff in case because it's just me. White Lotus. I finished Invincible, so I'll talk a little bit about Invincible, and then also
You're gonna talk about Invincible without me.
well.
That's fair. It's whatever.
Do you want to give your Invincible thoughts right now?
It was good.
There we go. And The Last of Us comes back, so I'll maybe do a little bit
I'm kind of raging about that one, actually.
about that, yeah. And maybe Doctor who knows?
You can talk about Docky Who.
Docky Who.
Last of Us, of course, you can talk about it, but I want to be able to talk about it the week after.
That might be a thing where, like our kind of like friendly neighborhood Spider-Man, where we
okay.
speak episode to episode, because it probably will be really good.
Yeah.
So there's lots there. Also Black Mirror. Probably speaking about Black Mirror as well next week.
That won't be a continuous one because I will not be watching that.
No, it dropped all at once.
Never mind. You're just gonna binge it and then.
Yeah. Yeah. I'll get into it next week, but
Cool. I can't wait to have to also skip around episodes because I probably won't listen because I will want to eventually catch up to that.
I mean, none of it will be spoilers.
We'll see. Apparently, we just jump into spoilers, so.
We try our best. Anyway, see you next week. Bye.